young man with a fist-shaped tongue, his sentences sticky and corrosive, slingshotted from the caverns of his bourbon-stained throat and painted his walls with late apologies. I should have controlled my temper. He would say his words. Descendants of the heads of defeated men hung heavy words, constantly lashed out, then retracted, weighed on his whiplashed breath and grew bitter over their lack of substance. No man, let me repeat, no man takes pride in knowing that he is empty. Empty men, I was once told, expand themselves outwards at the expense of those around them. Sweaty hands, strangling feeble wrists, they staple their uncalloused palms to the things that make them feel powerful. I grew up with 10 fingernails thumbtacked across my chest, his shortcomings, the rusted needles to my worn-out pincushion of a breastbone. My house was all hardwood, all built to take a beating, but was never designed to hold monsters within its hallways, to hold little boys clueless as to what the phrase male role model meant. I used to sneak out of bed, spend my nights searching between loose floorboards for the father figure that had fallen through the cracks. I remember he took me out to dinner once, ordered me clam chowder, told me not to embarrass him, said, "Don't cross your legs. Men don't sit like that." We were the only ones in the room. When we got back home, I wrapped my ears around the corner of the wall. I was interested to see what he had to say to my mother when I wasn't around. I can promise you one thing, bitch. He's as much mine as he is yours. You should be grateful that I even decided to show up. I learned young that slippery words travel around thin walls, and partially ashed cigarettes find their way into vacated space and inhabit used mirrors that betray the trust of late-night confessors. I grew up in a house that creaked at the mentioning of his name, slammed its makeshift window shut at the sound of its approaching footsteps, and defended itself as best it could from that tongue, fish-shaped, sharp-knuckled beating against the front door. The first time I saw my mother cry, I didn't know what to do. But most little boys don't have to. I propped myself up on the edge of a bed, told her I loved her, said, "Mom, I think he does too. Don't you ever lie to me like your father does." The monster we feared most was the one least present in either of our lives. The one that cut my umbilical cord, the one that named me, the one that held me before I learned to ride out of its grip, the one that taught me the word bitch by using it to address my mother. This person once told me that a man is no better than his filthiest moment. And that made him a pig. I grew familiar with his stench by the age of 5. With the way the back of his head looked from my window by the age of 7, in his absence. By 17, he lives 10 minutes away. I still see him at Christmas. Sometimes, on Thanksgiving, he still says, "I'm the only father you've got." To himself, more than me, I still clench my fists at the sound of his voice, still feel nauseous. Every time he says, "I'm proud of you," every time these scarred thumbs flinch at the memory of a mother's tears. But on Father's Day, I always walk out of Hallmark with the receipt.